Let's get physical. It's Jordan here, back again with this week's update and all the physical releases coming to the Switch. We're in the 4th week of September 20th until the 24th, Monday to Friday. Retail games, low prints, imports, community spotlight, and because it's the 2nd anniversary of this series, we're doing a very special Ask Me Anything at the end. So yeah, thank you to everybody who's watched over these 2 years. I was gonna buy one, but I forgot. Let's have a look. Dragonball Z Kakarot Village is releasing physically on the Switch this week. This is an action RPG kind of game that's been out on other consoles over a year now, but now it's on the Switch. Apparently this was a decent seller, even though the reception was fairly mixed, but the trailer looks pretty fantastic to me. I'm not even a fan of Dragon Ball Z, but I think I'd pick this one up and give it a whirl. It's pretty good. Have any of you played it before? I'd like to know your thoughts on it. And this is Robotech's and God of Resin's Pick of the Week. Streets of Rage 4 Anniversary Edition is releasing in Europe this week, according to a lot of retailers. It looks like North America has to wait until next week for this updated release. Yes, the fantastic Streets of Rage 4 is now even more packed with content with the very recent Mr. X DLC. 3 new playable characters, survival mode, and character customization. It looks great. I've heard that this is one of the best beat-em-ups of all time, which is certainly saying something. And Jack Severus, Dane Wilkinson, our executive producers, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Embr, Uber Firefighters is releasing in North America this week. I don't think Europe is getting this one as far as I can tell. Either that or I just can't find it because every time I type it into Google panics and thinks I'm spelling it wrong. And then even when I say it's spelling it correct, they still give me the wrong answer. So I don't know what's going on here. I gotta tell you guys, there's not enough fire rescue games out there. Who doesn't want to battle blazes and be a hero? There's obviously some comedic elements in this one, and as long as it performs alright on the Switch, I'd be willing to give this one a go. Street Outlaws 2 Winner Takes All. Well, this is obviously paling in comparison to last week's Cruising Blast. Based on a vapid American reality TV show, there's little to no hope for this one, at least for me. I hate just outright dismissing a game, but come on, this can't be good, right? It must be shit. I'm sure it'll be $7.99 in a year's time. Just go play Cruising Blast, it's great. This, probably not great. Spacebase Startopia should be releasing this week. This seems to be a mix of city building and real-time strategy game with skirmishes. It looks to add a dash of humor to proceedings, so if you like something like Theme Park or Theme Hospital with a space theme to it, it looks like it could be a nice little game. I'm certainly interested in seeing what this is all about. I did get a review code for it, but you know, I've made 5 videos last week, so yeah. The Addams Family Mansion Mayhem. I was half singing the theme tune and then half not singing the theme tune, so that didn't work. Anyway, it's a licensed tie-in by good old Outright Games, easily one of the most prolific publishers on the system. I was entirely intending to say this is going to be a bit of a dumpster fire. I mean, it is the Addams Family. Is this even relevant anymore? But I don't know. Looking at the trailer, maybe it's okay for a younger audience. I don't know. I watched it and I thought, you know, maybe in a year or two's time I could play with this with my daughter. It looks alright, maybe. And Punky Dooster, I did not expect this. He maybe agrees with me on this because it's his pick of the week. Also, it looks like Colors Live got delayed to this week. I know some people were excited about that. Rims Racing is finally releasing on the Switch this week. When I last mentioned it, this oddly titled game, I wasn't sure when it was releasing, but here in Europe, it is at last. North America, I don't know, you're still waiting for a good old rimming. Are you guys ready? It's that time of the week again. It is Code in a Box bullshit. In Europe, we've got Horizon Shift 81, a pretty decent looking retro style arcade shmup. Yeah, maybe. We got Dark Thrones Witch Hunter Double Pack, if you want double the bullshit. Anyway, that concludes this week's Code in a Box bullshit. Alright, the low print strictly limited games are distributing a big collector's edition of the latest upcoming Asterix and Obelix game, Slap Them All. The game itself looks half decent for a beat 'em up, and this is of course going to be sold at standard retail, and also it's by Microids, so it'll be very widely distributed and affordably too. But Strictly Limited have the big, expensive, Big Daddy Collector's Edition with all sorts of crap, and not a soundtrack in sight. You ain't getting 150 euros from me without a soundtrack CD. It's just impossible. Also, interestingly, this physical has 4 games. Well, it has all the 3 XXL games as downloads, plus the brand new game on the cartridge. I don't know if the retail version will have that, but you know, it's Microids. They do more value packs than anyone on the planet. And you can order this from Strictly Limited right now. And this collector's edition is Santa Tartaruga's Pick of the Week. Alwa's Collection Collector's Edition is up for pre-order at Limited Run Games right now. A standard edition is coming to retail at some point, but this Collector's Edition seems to be only available at Limited Run. It's a double pack of 2 really nice retro-style titles, Alwa's Legacy and Awakening, one of which was actually demaked for the NES. But yeah, heard nothing but good things about these games. I may pick up a standard retail copy down the line whenever that happens. And you get all sorts of stuff in this collector's edition. And Boombox, Michael Del Polito, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Alright, let's jump into the imports. Remember guys, if anything takes your fancy and you'd like to import it for yourself, then consider using the links below in the description and the pinned comment. If you use those links, then it also massively helps out this series ever so much. You guys are wonderful, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Plus, in return, if you use our links, you can also get a very nice 5% off any physical item from PlayAsia if you use the coupon code SwitchWatchTV while checking out. It's all one word, SwitchWatchTV, for 5% off any physical item from PlayAsia. Now, surprisingly, there's no physical imports this week, not a single one I can see. So I just want to update you on some recently announced imports. This is not all the upcoming imports, like I'm not talking about Fatal Frame, I'm not talking about Super Robot Wars, I've talked about them already in a past episode a couple of weeks back. This is only new announcements or games where there's been some more information about them, okay? So if you want to know all of them, check one of the videos before, it has the Fatal Frame on the cover. This is just new stuff that we've recently found out, okay? Firstly, oh mama, Grandia HD Collection is getting an Asian physical release on October 1st with English. Yes, this once highly coveted limited run game is getting released in Asia thanks to Arc System Works. What wonderful people they are. And it has a much better cover than limited run. Considering this is a collection, I really didn't like the fact that limited run, like one version of the cover was for Grandia 1 and the other version was for Grandia 2. Like for me, if it's a collection, you should represent all the titles on the cover like this one does. This is why this one is so much better than limited runs. And I do regret purchasing limited runs when I could buy this. This is better. It's cheaper. It's a reasonable price. This is a really huge release, you know, like limited runs version is running at like over $100 or so these days, so this is cheaper, has better artwork, 2 all-time classic JRPGs on one cartridge. This is gonna be huge, I'm telling you. Gonna be one of the best imports of the year so far. It's right up there. Deathsmiles 1 and 2 finally got confirmation of English. This is a double pack of 2 fantastic arcade-style shooters that I personally am highly anticipating. Love me some classic shooters, and I'm sure you will too. Now, this has been confirmed for a European release via Strictly Limited Games, but what we don't know is if it's going to be like a retail partnership with In Games, because you know if those guys get involved with their greedy things, yeah, just be warned, we'll have to see. But if you want it sooner rather than in 18 months, which I'm not joking, that is kind of realistic at this point, the Japanese version may be the way to go. There is a standard release as well as a collector's edition with a soundtrack and DLC. Eastward is releasing physically in Japan in November. Now this has been known for a while now, but I have held off talking about it because I was convinced it would get a retail release globally. I mean, why would it not? It's a massive indie game. So I waited, and there's been no announcement. The game is already out digitally. There's been no announcement, except there has been a tease from I Am 8-Bit. Yes, it's looking very likely that they will be doing the physical version, but that's not 100% confirmed because they're teasing it, so maybe they're teasing like a vinyl soundtrack or something. We don't know. But it is probably a retail physical, I would guess. And yeah, I didn't tell you about this Japanese release before. It does have English, but I didn't want you going out and importing it and then I Am 8-Bit announce it and you regret purchasing it. So yeah, you can import the Japanese version if you want, or wait and see what I Am 8-Bit are up to. In the meantime, I wanted to review Eastward. I contacted the publisher to request a code, but they only sent me one after everybody else got theirs. So they gave it to me after release date. And so yeah, I'm not a big fan of being considered sloppy seconds, to give them like a second wave of PR. That's not my style. I think I'm a little better than that. So as a result, thanks to Chucklefish giving me the late code, I'm going to give the code to one of you, a European download code for Eastward. I'm going to give it to one of you. Just leave a comment below in the description saying something that is eastwards of your current location. For example, me, eastwards of me, a high school. There's a high school eastwards of me. What is eastwards of you? And then next week, I'll give somebody a download code for Eastward. Thanks, Chucklefish. Alba Wildlife Adventure is potentially a physical exclusive in Japan, despite seeming unlikely. There's no Western physical that's been announced yet, but I'd keep an eye out before ordering this one. It seems likely it could get one, but that's just my opinion. Minna de Kuuki Yomi 123 Plus is a 4-pack game in the Consider It series. Simple looking games where you consider it. So incredibly Japanese in its quirkiness, you get told how considerate you are by how you react to certain situations. These look adorable. The 3 mainline games have English language options, but the bonus game, a mobile phone spin-off, does not. But like I said, that's just the bonus game. This is out at the end of November and is truly one of the most peculiar releases out there. I highly doubt there is going to be a Western physical release for this. DEEEER Simulator, your average everyday deer game. Yeah, that's what it's called. I have literally no idea what this game is. I thought it must be just a goat simulator ripoff, but the trailer seems to indicate something a bit more, but God knows what's going on. The Japanese release has English. No idea if a Western release is coming, but it's worth keeping an eye on. And by the way, can we just raise a glass in honor of Seabed? Yes, Seabed, the Play Asia exclusive, long delayed release, is finally out. It's been almost 2 years since people pre-ordered it. Almost 2 years, okay, maybe a year and a half, but that is a long ass time, and now it's finally being shipped. So yeah, here's to Seabed. All the collector's editions are sold out. They have some standard editions left, so grab that while you can if you don't want to miss out on this Yuri visual novel. Alright, it's the community spotlight. Now, just to tell you guys that due to the amount of photos from last week and added to those this week, there was a lot. There was too many, and at some point I just decided to stop looking. So I apologize if I missed your photo. Feel free to send it again if you really want it shown next week, okay? Okay, Atelier Rise and Shine, thanks for using our links and codes on some of these games. A couple of fantastic RPG imports and the Japanese version of Golf Story from B-Side Games, which is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. Audrey picked up these games, including the rather obscure Bakumatsu Renka, an Otomi visual novel that is an import exclusive that has English. Executive producer Cartoon Soren picked up these games, including Toho Kabuto, which is more of a curiosity as it's probably one of the worst reviewed games on the system, supposedly rather bad. Drew picked up the holy trinity of Super Robot Wars games on the Switch, soon to be a quadrilogy, with the upcoming 30th anniversary game. Executive producer God of Resin picked up these games, a few imports alongside the massive collector's edition of House in Fata Morgana. We'll see inside of that later on. Jim, thanks for using our links and codes on some of these games. You can see the reversible cover for the new Romancing Saga 3 print. Looks very sweet indeed, although I do think I prefer the pink tinted one though. Joshua Benson, also thanks for using our links and code on this massive haul of games. Unbelievable. I think I may be a very bad influence on people's wallets. Really, thank you ever so much for your wonderful support. I approve of all of them, and it helps us more than you can imagine. Kinkin got this little collector's edition of the Shin-Chan game, the one we reviewed in Japanese Gems Episode 2. Yeah, it's not great for those who don't understand Japanese, but still, it's a charming game nonetheless, and this collector's edition does look wonderful. Lars picked up Super Blood Hockey from Premium Edition Games. It is super lovely. Very nice package overall. Ming Q, thanks for using our links and code on most of these games as well. Pretty much a game for every type of mood. RPGs, visual novels, puzzle games, rhythm games, just lovely. My pal Dragon, thanks for using our links on The Wanderer here, a really beautiful game, amazing soundtrack. I also need to give away a collector's edition of this at some point. Napoleon picked up these games recently. The NIS double pack is really one of their most low-key releases. It came and went without much fanfare or publicity, but I've seen it a few times in the series, so I hope they're happy with how it's done. Neko, thanks for using our links and codes to pick up most of these fine releases, and it's great to see the NIS double pack doing so well. They recently announced Volume 2, which wasn't quite what I wanted, but it looks good nonetheless. Executive producer Robotech sent in this photo of 3 games, including the ever popular Scott Pilgrim, which I think took limited run to a whole new financial level. Rogue Wayne sent in this photo. We haven't seen Shadowverse too much. I think it started out at really quite a high price, maybe off-putting for people who, maybe they perceived it to be not as valued as it should be, but I've heard it's a really good game if you like card battlers. That's a tongue twister, I'm sorry, sent in this photo of their ever-increasing numbers in their collection. 330 is an incredible amount. Static got in the incredibly popular double release of No More Heroes 1 and 2. The cover art looks great, admittedly better than the incoming Asian double pack, but I'm all about double pack value, sorry. The One, thanks for using our links on some of these games. Great to see some new releases here, Cruise and Blast and Ni no Kuni 2. Please check out my reviews of both of those if you didn't so already. Vey sent in this photo. It looks like Spacebase got an earlier release in Japan. That is fun to see. And also the really good Metallic Child, which I reviewed a couple of days back. Be sure to check that out. I really enjoyed it a lot. Visipon sent in this photo of 2 Otomi visual novels, Cafe Enchante and Pure Fury, both of which I never thought would get a Western physical, but hey, I appreciate Axis Games soldiering on with these releases. Yo Daddy sent in this photo of 2 lovely games, especially the incredible import that is Okami. Absolutely love it. One of the best games ever if you can get past its pacing. Yusha, thanks for using our links and codes on the Toho game and the Big Daddy visual novel. I can't remember how to say it properly, so I'm not going to try. Plus, always love a bit of Vita collecting. EZYZ sent in this photo Z. I really wish that Saga Scarlet Grace had English. I'm hoping with the resurgence of the Saga series in Asia, maybe we'll get an Asian English release in the future. Fingers crossed. Alright guys, this episode's going to go on long enough, so let's have a roundup. Ashura G, Black Star, Brave Spartan, Cookie Corey, Crimson, Demigs, Ganacus, Golbat Lover, Invicta, Drupa, Jose Zapata, Kraid, Marty Ma, Max1216, Michael the Vita Guy, Needless Dragon, Ninja Darkovia, Pabs, Pacer, Panzer Thief Zero, Parsnip Coffee, Peter Clark, Rorn, Shenlong, Sosha, Stavi, Switchback, West Country Blue, Ying. Alright, let's head into the Ask Me Anything. So, I asked you guys to ask me any question you want, and I thought I would answer as honestly as possible. I have not really looked at most of the questions in advance, and those one I did see, I didn't prepare for. So if you ask specific questions, don't expect specific answers. And this is just off the top of my head, so like maybe if you ask me my favorite something or other, maybe it depends on what day you ask me. So don't take this as like my definitive answers that will never change, alright? Alright, let's jump in. So, Graham McLaughlin, good start, asked, this is the #1 series that I watch every week. Thank you, Graham. I'm curious how long it takes you to write and record an episode with all the community spotlight photos too. So yeah, it depends on the week. If a week's busy, it takes a lot longer. I would say it probably takes, I don't normally all do it in one day. I used to do it all in one day, but then that started to drive me a little crazy. So I kind of spread it over, like from Thursday to Saturday, I do a little bit each day. But if I was to do it all in one day, it would probably, including the community spotlight, probably it's an all day thing, like 9 to 5, right? If I did it on Sunday, if I started 9 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, I'd probably finish at 5 p.m. doing everything. That's not advisable though, because it's mentally like tough. Luna, that's the name of my dog, asked, considering the ongoing demographic crisis, how are you able to convince such a cute girl from China to marry you? Persistence? In a gentlemanly way, not in like a creepy way, but yeah, I was very persistent in a very, very nice way to show her that I'm a very good man and can take care of her, and she probably takes care of me more than I take care of her. Yeah, I'm the dumb foreigner in China who needs help with everything. Also, do you do karaoke? I fucking love karaoke. It's amazing. Ferrorio asked, was there a particular game that inspired you to start the series? For instance, having missed out on a physical release that became hard to find or something? No. Somebody in a video 2 years ago said that they wanted to know all the physical releases on the Switch. There was another channel or another video series that used to do it, but then they stopped doing it and didn't do it for like months and months. So they, in the comments, they asked, could I do it? And I thought, yeah, why not? I'll do it. I didn't imagine it would go on for 2 years though. Robin1 asked, you mentioned that you are a teacher, so I'm kind of curious what subjects you are teaching. English, oral English, how to speak properly. Corey asked, you do an amazing job, but between the reviews you do and your overall busy day to day, do you actually find time to play all of the games you have? Or are you like me, picking up things as you go along, knowing when the Switch goes away, you will have years of unplayed content still to go through? Basically, yes. I mean, this is my retirement plan. Not financial, but like entertainment-wise. When I finish doing YouTube, this is what I'm going to be doing with my life. Because doing YouTube, full-time job, and family, I really don't get time to play as much of like games that I want to play. Yeah, so I like to tell myself this is for my retirement. YouTube retirement. Paul Milkamp asked, hey Jordan, love the show and the 80s inspired theme song, thank you. I have 2 questions actually. I'm curious about the story behind the channel. So first question, what's SwitchWatch's origin story? Secondly, obviously the more important question of the 2, tea or coffee? Happy anniversary mate, cheers from the Netherlands. Hello, Hollandian, that's Chinese for Dutch person. So what's the story behind the channel? Well, it's not my channel. I didn't make it. I didn't start this channel. You need to ask Juan and James, that 2 cousins. I think they just really liked the Switch and wanted to tell people about stuff on it. So they started it, and then I joined later on when I thought we could team up like the Avengers, the NAF Avengers. The more important question, tea or coffee? Sorry, British people. Coffee. Joshua Aaron asked, being such a huge fan of Nintendo, do you also invest in NTDOY? I'm guessing that's like on the stock market. Nintendo pays out decent dividends on their shares. No, I do not. I don't have any shares in stocks, unfortunately. I invest in other stuff, not stocks though. Go Hobo Go asked, I believe you have mentioned you are a teacher. I was curious what you teach and what age group. Also, do any of your students know that you have a YouTube channel? Yeah, I teach English, I said, but I teach grade 7, usually grade 7, but I've also teach grade 8, 9, and the first year of high school, so grade 10. Yeah, mostly grade 7, because they're like not quite moody teenagers yet, so they actually still like me. And also, do any of your students know you have a YouTube channel? I used to tell them before, like maybe 3 years ago, I used to try to tell them when I would try to teach them about video games. I tried to get them to review a video game, which, considering they don't really play video games, is kind of tough. But yeah, I also showed them like an example video of me reviewing a game, and but after I did that for a couple of years, then I realized maybe I should just keep my lives separate, because I review some dodgy stuff. I talk about some dodgy stuff. My opinions may not gel with my employer and stuff like that, so I just keep them separately these days. Gert Marin, is that Miguel Marin? Gert Marin? That you? Asked, that the game in your collection that you would sell no matter how valuable it got, and you can't say FF7 remake. My FF7 remake is digital, sorry about that, so it can't be that. Anyway, collection I wouldn't sell no matter how valuable. To be honest, I don't know, I like video games, I like having them in my collection, but I don't think I could ever say no to like $10,000 or something. You know, I mean, to be fair, $100. You could give me... Okay, most of them $100, I'll give them to you. maybe some of them like 500, then they're yours, you know. I don't have any like emotional attachment to them. Not like that anyway. I could buy my daughter ice cream, so of course I would sell them. What do we got? Jared Mendiola. Would you do an episode of Let's Get Physical with Dua Lipa? Okay, first, I don't know who Dua Lipa is. No, he's outside. So yeah, I live in China. I've lived here 8 years. I don't keep up with any... I watch some movies, but like music, TV shows, I'm not up to date with any of that. So I don't really know who Dua Lipa is. Sounds like a nice thing. But whatever. If they want to, yeah. As long as it's like a person, not like an inanimate object or anything. Alright, Ice Wolvesman asked, amazing series got me into many games I never knew about. I was wondering what your favorite 2 games in every genre. Every genre? Or will you make a video about it? I probably won't make a video about it, but I'm not going to go through every genre. What genres are there? JRPG, Final Fantasy VII, and JRPG. Suikoden and Skies of Arcadia. That's together, whatever. Genres, racing game. This is difficult, man. Burnout 3, and what was the first Gran Turismo on PlayStation 2? That one. Maybe shooters. GoldenEye. Red Faction? Time Split? I don't know. This is so difficult. I don't know. I'd have to think about that a lot. Sorry. Riz asked, any games on any console platform that you're still on the hunt for? Ooh, hunting. To be honest, I don't really hunt for games anymore. I have a list longer than my arm. Well, it's a mental list. But I don't actively search for them. Like if I'm browsing and I see them for a reasonable price, I might buy them. But I don't think, okay, I want to buy this game I've been looking for a while. I don't really think like that anymore. Choco Loco James, congrats on 2 years, Jordan. Do you still play games from the 8 or 16-bit era? If so, any favorites? Occasionally, less 8-bit, because I don't think they hold up as well. A bit before my time. But, you know, I grew up on the Super Nintendo, so yeah, I love, like, A Link to the Past. It's like one of the best games ever, Mario World. Super Mario World, right? And, yeah. Yeah, I like 16-bit games. Pain's Victim, or Pay NES Victim, I don't know. What do you think your total playtime is on Switch? Probably less than you think, or probably like less than it would be if I didn't do any YouTube work. Because if I didn't do YouTube, I'd spend all that time that I usually make videos to play the Switch. So yeah, I play less than I would because I make videos. I have to focus, get on with it. Jumble Skull, I think. Yeah, Jumble Skull. Have SwitchWatch considered what they will name themselves when the Switch life cycle ends? Only very briefly, kind of jokingly. I think we just said wait until what Nintendo do. Like if Nintendo makes Switch 2 or Switch Pro or Switch X or something, then don't need to change anything. If they change something completely different to whatever, then probably we'll have to do a brand name change. What though? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Geo2Nice asked, besides code in a box and English language removal BS, what's your other physical gaming pet peeve? Thanks for the series, I love it. I've been watching since the first video. Okay, thank you. There's loads. I get annoyed by like loads of small little things. I think one that keeps cropping up all the time is the lack of communication about like if a game is a limited run, like very recently, Streets of Rage 4. Okay, Streets of Rage 4 limited run announced they're doing it, and then just before pre-orders closed, Merge Games announced they're doing it in Europe, right? And people got really angry, and that could have been communicated a lot better, a lot earlier. I think if a developer or publisher, if they know what their plans are going to be, or they have like a determination to do something, like even if like contracts aren't signed yet, they should still be transparent and tell people, yeah, it's for pre-order in America now, but you know, if you're in Europe, maybe you just wait and see, right? I think and that happens all the time. Streets of Rage 4 is just one example. Okay. Oliver, what's your favorite retro FPS? GoldenEye, Time Splitters, Red Faction, probably those. Where's the Y2K? What's your favorite Chinese food, and when will you cook it for us in the video? 1, I can't cook very well, and 2, what's my favorite Chinese food? Oh, that's so difficult. I kind of, don't get me wrong, Chinese food, it can be really, really nice, but like day to day, from like a, just from a hole in the wall kind of thing, oh gosh, I don't know. I like Beijing duck. Okay, that's like a generic answer. Beijing duck is really nice. It's underrated as a food. Why don't we eat duck more in England? Cohen, Cohen, I think, asked, you've been tossed into an insane asylum. What do you tell people there to prove to you, or to prove to them, that you don't belong inside? I would say Waifu Uncovered is a terrible game, and they would say, okay, yeah, let's open the door. Gavin 5001, why did you move to China? What's it like living there, and do you miss good old Sheffield? I moved to China because I wanted to do something interesting. After I finished university, my plan was just to come here for a year, travel around, maybe not even earn money, just like teaching was like an excuse to come here to travel. And that was like 8 years ago, so yeah, that worked out right. Living here, it's nice. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't nice. And it's not perfect, but then again, nowhere is perfect. Do you miss good old Sheffield? Some very small things. Not a whole lot, sadly. Sorry. I miss my friends. That's it. Thermo Beats 2. What's your favorite game to review for the channel? Ooh. I guess we could say the 10 out of 10s that I've given, which was Dead Cells and Smash Ultimate. But I don't know. I kind of like the games that I reviewed that I wasn't expecting anything from, but came out really liking them, or maybe the ones that I think I probably like more than other people will like, or something like that. Like Dusk Diver. You know, I mean, that's kind of like a 7 out of 10 kind of game for probably most people, but for me, it just clicked with me, and I really enjoyed it. And I know people probably won't enjoy it as much as me, but I think I kind of like that. I kind of like being, you know, a little bit different sometimes. What's your favorite thing to do in your spare time? Sleep. I don't do a lot of things in my spare time. If I'm not working, if I'm not with my family, and I'm not doing YouTube, I'm probably sleeping, really. I don't have a lot of free time. I play the guitar. I watch some stuff on YouTube, like comedy stuff on YouTube. That's about it, really. Having a small daughter, we tend to just go out, go to the park, play, stuff like that. Week Old Pizza asked, are there any games in your Switch collection that you regret purchasing? Ooh, regret purchasing. I've got a couple of crap games in there, but I usually buy them because they're crap, just for the novelty of being crap. Okay. Hollow Knight. Now, Hollow Knight is not crap. It's an amazing game, right? But I do regret purchasing it because it was first announced via Fangamer, I think, right? Is it Fangamer or... it's Fangamer. And either I was just too excited to pay attention, or maybe they weren't as full disclosing as they should have been. But I assumed that it was going to be exclusive to their website. I thought this is the only way to get it. I didn't realize it was getting like a worldwide release as well. Like I said, I don't know if they hid that at first, or I just didn't read properly. Again, a communication thing. But yeah, I regret buying from fangamer.com when I could have just bought anywhere, really, but it'd have been cheaper. Okay. Lord LX, or is it Lord 9? I don't know, Roman numerals. You are living in China, are you not? What Switch games aren't available in China because the CCP has banned them? Off the top of my head, the big one is Animal Crossing. They banned Animal Crossing. Yeah. People trying to look busy. That is what it is. People trying to look busy, trying to look like they're important. Also, I think Doom. I think, like, you know, when Doom first released on the Switch, I could not find that. I tried looking for it, and I did find it eventually, but I had to, it was really difficult to find. And I think the Resident Evil games, I think Resident Evil is banned for the video games, which is weird because the movies here are huge. Like, the movies are so massive here, and yet the games, as far as I can tell, are banned because, like, you can still buy them. You can still buy Animal Crossing physically. You can still buy Resident Evil, but when the seller lists it, they kind of disguise it a little. Like, they don't show the proper box art. They'll show something like edited or just a completely different game. And then in the title, like the wording, they'll word it a bit differently. Like Resident Evil's kind of like biology, something like that. And nothing to do with Biohazard. I know it's a Japanese name, but they call it biology. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, those three, I think, off the top of my head, were banned. But you can still buy them if you know where to look. Go Hobo Go again. What's your favorite game console other than the Switch of all time? I'm a Nintendo guy, but sorry, I would probably say the PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2. Like, I'd put those two above any Nintendo console. Julio, number 1 is pancakes or waffles. Pancakes, my wife is very nice and makes me banana pancakes when I'm very focused on making a video. She like brings me pancakes and fruit sometimes. She's lovely. Number 2, apart from game collecting, playing, do you have any other hobbies you're really into? Not really anymore. I used to go to the movies a lot, but since we had the baby, we don't have time. Okay. I play the guitar once in a blue moon. Yeah, that's about it really. Spyro.geek asked, now that you have a glowing pink halo surrounding you, will we have to call you Saint Jordan? I'm not against the idea. Kraken, are you picking up the Switch OLED model when it releases? No, I'm not. I shouldn't, really, because it's kind of useless for me. I want it, but it would be kind of a waste of money because when I play games, I'm usually reviewing them, and if I'm reviewing them, I need to capture footage. So I need to use the TV docked. So kind of useless for me, really. Switch Pro, on the other hand, I would eat that up. Sir Lagsalot 13, what's the most you will spend on a modern game, and what's the most you would spend on a vintage game? Okay, now because I have to be more responsible in my life, and I'm not exactly a rich dude. I will not pay more than the standard retail price. I won't. Just won't. I don't think I have for a long time. And what's the most you spend on a vintage game? Probably like what it would retail for back in the day. Like I don't know, Super Metroid. Okay, Super Metroid, I don't know what that's going for as a cartridge these days. I've not looked for many years, but I can imagine it's probably less than it was originally, like just a loose cartridge. But like I would pay up to $60 if it was that value, like on eBay. Like if they were all $60, I'd pay it because that's probably what it was when it released. Yeah, I won't pay more than that. Scott Mansfield, as a Pom living overseas myself, do you miss England? What do you miss? I miss England just a little bit, not too much. Like I said, I miss my friends. Other than that, I miss not being a foreigner. Sounds weird because like in China, if you're a foreigner, things are just different for you. Like everything is different for you if you're a foreigner in China. And I miss just like having like easy stuff, like doing easy stuff. Like in China, like in China, everything's by your ID card. Like you do anything, you use your ID card, and like if you want to catch a train, you scan your ID card and you get on the train. You want to get a phone number, you just write your ID card number and you got a phone. As a foreigner, Chinese systems are not built for people without ID cards, and I'm a foreigner, so I can't get an ID card. So everything's a little bit difficult, right? Chinese people, when they do something, they go in a straight line. Foreigners, they go here and then they have to go like around, do a little detour before they can like do anything. It's kind of annoying. Also, Greg's. I miss Greg's, the bakery. Just Otaku VF. Besides the Switch, what other consoles or handhelds do you have? And could you show us your entire collection? Maybe in a separate video, I'll have a look at my collection. What other consoles, handhelds do I have? Well, here in China, I have the Final Fantasy VII machine, which is not there right now. I have a Vita, 3DS, DS, Game Boy Advance, PSP, Wii U, and Mila. That's it. Yeah. I have lots of retro consoles in the UK though. Simon Hooten asked, you mentioned you live in China, as do I, in Nanjing. Whereabouts are you and how did you end up there? So I live in Luoyang in Henan province, and I ended up here because, well, I knew some Chinese people from university. I had 2 friends, university Chinese people, and they lived in Zhengzhou, which is not too far from Luoyang. But anyway, when I had my agent and agency, and they tried to help me find a school to work in, I said, I want to go to Zhengzhou because that's where my friends are and I can, you know, be with them. You know, I can know people when I arrive. But then they didn't find anybody in Zhengzhou that wanted me. But then they found someone in Luoyang, which is not too far away from Zhengzhou. So I came to Luoyang instead. That's how I ended up here. Zokaomi, do you have future plans for your work here? As I think it's very time consuming and I think it's not easy to get this done without any friction in real life. Do I have any future plans? I hope to go into game publishing at some point. I'd like to help publish games, like develop them. But that's kind of, I don't know, kind of a pipe dream right now. In terms of like the channel, doing channel work, it is very time consuming, but yeah. Without any friction, well, friction in real life, well, it does. It's kind of tiring, and I've really had to adapt more than once to make everybody in my life happy about the situation, which is fair enough. Tired Aiden asks, how many Switch games do you have exactly? I don't know. I guess probably here, probably like it must be close to 200 right now, if not more than 200. And also in England, to be honest, in England, I have no idea. I really have no idea, because I buy stuff online that I see and I send it to England. So maybe once in a blue moon, something from Limited Run that I buy, send it to England. Something from, or even like Play Asia exclusives, I send those to England because it's just safer, it's usually quicker, and I do plan on moving back to England at some point in the future. So instead of like having to take all my stuff back to England, let's just like get some of it over there like already, so I don't have to bring everything back. So I probably have like maybe like 150 games in England, Switch games. Yeah, but that's just a guess. So, to be honest, I have no idea. Deep B, what's your favorite genre of video games? I'd say JRPG. I don't have time to play them, but you know, I enjoy the principle of them. Just That Gamer, what's your least favorite video game of all time? Least favorite? That's a tough one, because I played a lot of games in my time. It's really tough. And I'm usually pretty good at choosing games. Like, if I buy a game, I'm usually pretty confident it'll be alright. Probably something on the Wii U. Like, before I joined SwitchWatch, I had my own channel. I did Wii U games. Oh, mama. Yeah, pretty bad, some of them. Okay. Captain Slow, when are you going to release Marmite Games? Okay, that's kind of like an inside joke if you don't know Marmite Games. Like I said, I want to do game publishing, and something in the Discord made it out that we're going to call it Marmite Games. I can't remember why. When? I don't know. When we find some games to publish. Or when we have enough money to finance games. Bonus question, do you like Marmite? I don't think I've ever had Marmite, not properly. I think I've tasted like a spoonful, but then, like, that's wrong. That's the wrong way to taste Marmite. You need it with something. I like Marmite crisps, though, when Walkers. They used to do Marmite crisps. That was nice. Nabs Lasted, what kind of teacher are you? English oral teacher. No, I should say an amazing teacher. That's what kind I am. Aos Golo, how do you organize your Switch physical collection? Poorly, as you can see. Actually, they're in like pseudo alphabetical order. So like the top ones over there, they're like the A's, kind of the A's. And then we go like B's, C's mixed together a little bit until eventually you snake your way down and you get to like the X and Y's. They're not in like proper alphabetical order, just kind of pseudo alphabetical order. What's your favorite apples that you like to eat while playing video games? I don't like eating when playing video games. I don't eat it. I like the idea of it, but then when I'm playing and like it's just I can't do it. What's your favorite game so far in 2021? That's a tough one. A game that I reviewed. Oh gosh, I can't remember any game that I reviewed right at this second. That's bad. Yeah. I don't know. Pass. Sorry. Graham. No, Jeremy Gray asked, what's your most hyped game of 2021 that's already out or coming out? What's Nintendo got coming? They don't have that much, do they? They have Pokemon, Metroid. I don't know. That's a difficult one. Probably Super Robot Wars 30. That's probably my most hyped game coming. Daniel G, any place in the world that you're curious to visit? I've always wanted to go to New Zealand. And Japan, of course. But anywhere. I'll go anywhere. I think it's Tajinbu. What's your favorite game of all time on Switch or other? Final Fantasy VII. And on the Switch, Final Fantasy VII, maybe. Is that cheating if I say Final Fantasy VII? Okay. Audrey Scrapaloop. I think that's how to say your name, sorry. What's your favorite book? Ooh. Probably this one. Right here. Shogun by James Clavell. It's an amazing book. It's massive. I also like Romance of the Three Kingdoms, even if it's a little bit dry. You know, ancient novels tend to be a little bit dry. And something more modern, maybe Howl's Moving Castle. That is such a lovely little book. So charming. And sorry guys, but I do like Harry Potter. Sorry. Cohen, what would you do if fear was not a factor and you could not fail? I would become a game publisher. Luna, again, what Chinese snacks would you recommend us looking at in our local Asian market? Sorry, China. I love you, but like, you're pretty shit at snacks. Sorry. Compared to like British snacks, Chinese snacks, there's zero competition. That's why all like British people are fat. Not all of them, obviously. That's why Chinese people are thin, I should say. I'm not a fan of snacks. I'm not a fan of the bakeries here. They don't do them very good. And to be honest, like China imports a lot of snacks from other countries. Like there's plenty of Japanese snacks, German for some reason. Plenty of American stuff as well, and I've tried quite a few of them. You know, you can probably see I've put on weight a little bit, and British just wins. They just win like every single time. I try to sample them, but British snacks are just the best, and that's also why our teeth are bad as well, probably. Matt92685, what's your favorite Super Robot Wars game on Switch? Also, which one should I import if looking at them? Because yeah, okay. T, I would go Super Robot Wars T because I just think it's slightly better than the others. V, it's a little slow to get into. I found it's a little slow to get to like the really cool stuff. X is very good, but it's kind of like in a fantasy setting, so it's a little bit different, and I don't think that's really what the series is all about. So maybe not the best place to start. And Super Robot Wars T is just fantastic. It has Cowboy Bebop in it, so that's a winner. And I also like the main character a lot more. The main character is just better in Super Robot Wars T. Stock Joe, how do you all know each other and who do you think is the best gamer? We met on YouTube. Juan left a comment in one of my videos on my old channel, and we was comparing like thoughts on a game. I think it was Vaccine. I think he didn't like it, and I do kind of like it. I think it's fine for what it is. But yeah, we left a comment, and then we I think we started talking on Twitter, and eventually we just got together. Who's the best gamer? Probably Juan. He's more hardcore. He likes his really difficult games. Me, I'm more like the sit back and take a look kind of guy. Elite asked, what game makes you the most happy? That's easy. Taiko no Tatsujin, so happy. Mr. Quagmire, what's your favorite 2D platformer on the Switch? 2D platformer? God, there's so many. We made a whole video about them, and for some reason I can't think of any of them. Okay, I know it's not the best. It's not the best. It's not my favorite. But when I think of 2D platformers, for some reason, like the game Shu, SHU, that always comes into my head. It's not the best. It's not amazing. It looks nice. Plays alright. But for some reason, that's always in my head forever. iAngel218. Thank you for all you and your team do. I found this channel about a month or two ago and have been hooked ever since. I hope the hook's not very painful. How do you find time to balance your family and work life? There are a lot of videos each week. There most certainly are. It's been difficult at times, gotta admit that. You know, family, work, YouTube, it is very difficult. And it has been tough on family stuff at certain times, you know, because I'm kind of a workaholic, so sometimes I don't get cues when I'm just doing a little bit too much work, and my wife just has to like say, Jordan, have a rest, spend time with your family, which I do. You know, I'm like, okay. And yeah, I have to adapt, I have to adjust, and I think I've almost got the balance there, just about. My wife seems happy now. Joe Figueroa, you mentioned that you've been extremely busy. Do you do other work on top of your YouTube career? Teaching? Any aspirations on top of SwitchWatch? Game publishing? I honestly wished you streamed and did Let's Plays content and content like that. I would watch that shizzle. You got the personality for it. So yeah, I do want to stream. Streaming would be great. But living in China, like, I have to use a VPN and the connection is it's just not good enough. It is not good enough for streaming. Let's Plays, I kind of do, but I think the audience for Let's Plays, I think that was more like 5 years ago on YouTube, and if I did, it would not be on this channel, because like Let's Plays have really low average watch time, which, you know, YouTube is very finicky and pedantic when it comes to like what to promote and stuff, and I don't want to nerf the channel more than I've already done with all the dodgy Switch games that I reviewed. So yeah, like I don't want to change the focus. If I did, it would be on a different channel. But it's hard to find like an hour like of non-interruption, especially with the family, the daughter, people calling me. Like, trying to find an hour to do a Let's Play is just not happening at this minute. Theo Papadakis, sorry, said, this has become my absolute favorite weekly YouTube episode. Congratulations on the 2-year anniversary. Thank you. If you could choose only one digital-only game to have a collector's edition physical copy, what would it be? It would be Banner of the Maid. That's my answer to game I want physically. Banner of the Maid. I want it. GMM asks, which physical game for the Switch do you really want to own? In other words, what is the game you would instantly buy if you won the lottery? I don't know. I mean, I don't like paying over the odds for games anyway, so like usually if I've missed out on a game, it's fine. I don't dwell on it too much. I don't think I would. If I won the lottery, I'd probably buy my daughter some ice cream, maybe. JP G said, favorite collector's edition you own in your personal collection for the Switch. Sorry, I hurt my neck recently. Oh, that really hurts. I would say maybe the Omega Labyrinth Live, the top there, big massive one. This is very special. And also there's a Samurai Showdown one, the Shop Box edition from Pix and Love. It has 2 games in there, Samurai Showdown, like the reboot kind of thing, and also Samurai Showdown 2, the Neo Geo Pocket Color game, which is completely useless now. There's a collection of those games, but I just think it's kind of unique and I quite like it. It's also really well put together. Sydney E, what is the meaning of life? We all know that is 42. Ran21 Al4 asks, what you doing? Answering your question. Palmer Saunders, do you still prefer playing shmups as your favorite genre of games? I wouldn't say, maybe it's my favorite genre on some days. It depends which day you ask me. Depends what mood I'm in. I like JRPGs, I like shmups. Yeah, depends which day you ask me. Flora Fauna, hi Jordan, I've been watching your videos for a bit now and really appreciate your insight and generally sweet vibe. Ooh. We know a little bit about you beyond the scope of YouTube gaming reviews, but I'm curious, what is something else you enjoy to do when you're not working that might be a big surprise to all the viewers of this channel? Big surprise. Big surprise. What I do? I don't do anything. I don't do anything. Sorry, I do not do anything. That's a really bad answer. I'm sorry. Elissa C, executive producer. Which one is your favorite mech anime? Mine is Gunbuster. I don't really watch mech anime. That's the thing. That's why I don't know. Super Robot Wars kind of I shouldn't like Super Robot Wars. I don't really like mech or anime stuff. But yeah, that's my answer. I don't. Severist, how did you end up teaching in China? I think I said that already. I'm curious because I teach in Korea. I just wanted a year to do something interesting after university. Kurosaki Shaft Zero, what's your first ever console and portable gaming device? Probably, I think Super Nintendo. It was my dad's Super Nintendo, but I kind of inherited it. He's not dead, he just didn't want it anymore. Portable gaming device, I think it was probably the original Game Boy, because I remember we did have it. I remember the big giant brick, but I don't really remember playing it that much. So from like being an actual sentient human being when I was actually like knowing what I was doing, it was probably the Game Boy Color, playing Pokemon. Lord Thanos, when it comes to physical video game media, what format do you prefer, discs or cartridges, and why? Ooh, that's an interesting question because I have a very good answer for that. It depends on the size of the cartridge, because for me, Switch cartridges, Vita cartridges, too small, useless, like mean nothing to me. NES cartridges, too big in the way. Okay, if you got like I think Nintendo 64 got it. Nintendo 64, their little curved little top, and like also Game Boy cartridges, kind of chunky. You got a feel for them. A little bit of meat, you can shake them, you can hear what's inside. I prefer that. And then discs, and then Switch cartridges, NES cartridges. Andreas L.I., what's your most valuable Switch game? I'm not sure. I don't really keep up with like value of stuff these days. I usually hear that secondhand from like on Discord or something like that. But I would guess, I don't know this for sure, that the Samurai Showdown, I'm guessing that's pretty expensive now. Samurai Showdown shop box from Pix and Love, I would guess. Pacer1705, how do you juggle your day job, your work on SwitchWatch, while spending quality time with your family every day? Like I said, it's not been easy. There's been some tough times, but you know, gotta adapt. Gotta get, you know, you gotta realize what's the most important thing, and I think I've started to do that. It's difficult though. Art Phoenix Asordis, you've been living in China for a while now. With your family, you speak Chinese fluently, from what I got. But you're really into Japanese anime games and stuff like that. So, any plans to learn Japanese now you speak Chinese? Okay, first, I speak Chinese pretty well. Like, I can go about day-to-day stuff, I can do stuff. But I'm not fluent. I could not be like a translator or anything. I still need help with some stuff. But yeah, I would not learn Japanese unless I move to Japan. If I move to Japan, I would try to learn Japanese. But for now, no, I should probably study Chinese better, because I don't study Chinese. I just kind of absorbed it and then stopped there. Kevin Lynch, would any game make you buy a code in a box bullshit for the box art? Probably no. I mean, you can make the box art as amazing, as beautiful as you can, but it's still got that little like logo that says code in a box kind of thing, which just ruins it. So I guess it's possible, but very unlikely. Joshua Champagne asked, how did your humor develop? Was it a TV show, your dad, or just a show, or just how Englanders are? Develop. I don't know. I just watched a lot of comedy when I was like in my teens, you know. I didn't like play with friends so much in my teenage years, so I just watched a lot of comedy. I guess I got it from that. I don't know. I didn't study comedy or anything like that, so I didn't study humor. But maybe I just subconsciously absorbed some stuff. Matthew Dean, Which foods do you miss from the UK? I also left, and the only thing I can come up with is crunchies. Cereal is a good answer. Some good cereal. Did I mention Greg's? Greg's the bakery. I think I mentioned that already. Biscuits. I'm a connoisseur of biscuits, and the only goddamn biscuits they have here is Oreos, and Oreos are a disgrace to biscuit kind. Okay, Oreos are just awful. It's just sugar. You need proper biscuits. There's some are okay, but England know how to do snacks. The UK knows how to do snacks, guys. Darren Mifsud, sorry. What's your favorite JRPG of all time? What's your favorite JRPG on the Switch? Final Fantasy 7? Final Fantasy 7, I guess. Okay, if we're talking about only on Switch, I think that's actually quite difficult, because I don't think I've played many RPGs that are like brand new with the Switch. Like Octopath Traveler, I haven't played enough of that to say I haven't played enough Xenoblade 2, so that's quite difficult. I don't know about that. Handsome Guy, what's your opinion on the Poly Mega Retro console? It's great, just too expensive for me. Sorry, it's not for me. Rainbow Tashi, do you get along with digital game collectors, or are they shunned by yourself to the fiery pits of wherever digital buyers go to condone for their objective wrongdoings, asking for a friend? I don't care. Like, if I understand, I totally 100% understand people who buy digital only games, and that's fine. Of course, I will buy physical when possible, but yeah, I understand why, because like space issues, like people don't have enough space, they're a lot cheaper most of the time, and yeah, I mean, I totally understand. So I have no like I don't dismiss people who only buy digital games. James, I don't think he's got a single physical Switch game. God of Resin, executive producer, is there a game currently out of print that you would pay scalper prices for to get a physical copy, or a current digital game that would come to a limited print company? I would not pay scalper prices for anything, at least I don't think so, and I would like Banner of the Maid. Goma, are you sick of doing the community spotlight yet? It depends when you ask me. Sometimes, mostly not. Sometimes, if I'm in a rush, a little bit. But I mean, actually, I think, you know, I'm doing it better these days. I've changed the way that I do the video, changed the order in which I work, which I think has made it a lot less painful than it was at certain points. Because I used to do the community spotlight, like the very last thing I did in the video was the community spotlight. And what I've realized is, the very last thing you do in the video is always the thing you hate the most, because by the time you get to that point, you are absolutely sick of it, and you just want it to be done so you can go to have a shower and go to bed and, you know, stuff like that. So I don't do that. I don't do the community spotlight last anymore. I do it a bit earlier in my kind of order of doing things. So and I think I've been less like I don't know, I don't make it as nice as I could do anymore. Like I used to like zoom in and do like highlight stuff and put like video behind and stuff like that, but you guys probably don't really care about that, so yeah, I just made it a little bit quicker to do for myself. Ninja Darkovia, besides Nintendo Switch, do you currently own any other gaming consoles or PC? I think I mentioned that already. Would you consider buying a gaming chair? My wife keeps telling me I should buy one, but I don't know, maybe. Cartoon Soren, our executive producer, are there going to be any more owl emojis in the future? You may notice that our YouTube members, or 20-something of them, can do the owl emoji, like high five and happy and stuff like that. And I think Juan commissioned those, and he commissioned 6 of them, and I don't think he realized there could be 9. So I added a Steenbok emoji. You probably didn't notice that. So we have space for 2 more, so maybe we can add a couple more emojis for our YouTube members. Join. Gonzalo, given that adult life comes with many chores and responsibilities, how do you find the time to play? And what kind of player are you? A completionist, or do you rush through the story to finish fast? Neither. I've never been a completionist and never will be, and I would not rush through a game as fast as possible, because that means you're not enjoying it, right? If you're trying to rush through the game, that's not enjoying it. So I just I play as normally and as humanly as possible. Lord Metroid, favorite console? Why? PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. Just so many amazing games, and they were just at the right point in my life, I think. They were just right there, the right time. Solo board gaming night. Other than video games, what do you like to do when you're not working? Not that much, really. Watch some comedy stuff occasionally. Play the guitar occasionally. I've said these already. Patrick Dog. What's your view of England's chance in the next World Cup? Less than the Euros that just happened, because they did well in the Euros. So I think people have expectations of them now. And when England have expectations, they always fail those expectations. So I think then probably like quarterfinals, I would say. Bradtronics. If you could pick your top 3 box art covers, what would they be and why? Fight Crab. Instantly Fight Crab. We did this, right? In the themes. What did I pick? Can't remember what I picked. Fight Crab. I'll go with something I haven't actually got yet. The Romancing Saga 3, the new one. The new print. The pink. Beautiful. And, oh, mama. It's really difficult. I don't know. I can't really turn my neck because it hurts to turn my neck right now. I'll think about the last one. Z. When I do... Our executive producer, Z. When I do laundry, I put a pair of socks in and only get one out. Where does the missing sock go? I am not prepared to answer that metaphysical question. That's above my pay grade. Flower Angel Rave. What's your favorite series on the channel to work on? Which one is the most worked for an episode? My favorite series to work on is probably reviewing import exclusives, because I just like telling people about them. Like I have some like little secret I want to tell people. Just feels kind of good. And which one is the most work to do on? Lists like the 154 import exclusives. That was a long video to make. Jay Sama. Not strictly a question, more of an offer. If you make it over to Korea, I'll happily buy you some beers. It's the least I could do after watching this series for so long. Keep up the work. Good work, mate. Ooh. Thank you. I appreciate beer. Max1216, what's your favorite and least favorite pickup of 2021 so far? Least favorite of 2021? I bought Island Flight Simulator. Absolutely awful game. Maybe the worst game that I've ever played, maybe. What is your favorite? Island Flight Simulator. It's my favorite and my least favorite at the same time. Least favorite because it's utter crap, and also I think it's my favorite because I think it's kind of a little bit rare. At least the one that I have. I have the one with the full English cover, which if you're a European collector, like the highest prices are the ones with full like English. Like sometimes you have multi-language releases, which I know respect to other European countries, but for some reason the English one's always the highest. And I have not seen this one before. I haven't seen the one that I have on eBay. I did not see it, so maybe it's rare. Maybe not expensive, but maybe it's rare. I don't know. Transient Image. How many 3DS physical games do you own, and what's your favorite 3DS game, with a short explanation of why? Well, I'm guessing I have about 30 to 40 physical 3DS games, because from 2001 to 2013, I bought a fair amount of 3DS games. Did I say 3DS or Switch? 3DS games. And I came to China, and that just stopped it dead. Because I have a European 3DS, and you cannot buy European 3DS games in China. You just cannot. So even though I did go back to travel to England like once in a while, and maybe I picked up a couple like here and there, my active collecting it died. It died the day I stepped on the plane to China. So I only have like 30 or 40. Most of them are loose, even though I have the cases back in England. My favorite is Theatre Rhythm Curtain Call, because it's Final Fantasy music in a game, which is just like, of course, like, why did this not happen before? It's just amazing. Although special shout out to Fire Emblem Awakening and Animal Crossing New Leaf and Super Mario 3D Land. brilliant games. Where am I? Mr. Valgard, what other systems do you collect for and for how long? I do not actively collect for any other systems at the minute. I have a very big Wii U collection down there. Maybe you can see in the camera, I don't know. I think I only need like 20 more to get a full Wii U collection for both. Okay, not including Japan. For America and Europe. Japan will be a little harder, but there's not too many. Probably need like, I don't know, 30 in total, right? So, but I'm not even actively collecting that. I've given up for the moment. Christopher Landon, how do you store your cartridges? Do you keep them in individual game cases, or do you use a large capacity game holder? Any recommendations? I just keep them in their cases. Alexander Kato, how did you meet the others? They commented on one of my videos. How's the teaching job going? Pretty good. And got any tips on how to write a review? Be yourself. Just be yourself. Don't try to like make people happy. Just say what you think. And one thing that annoys me about other reviews that I used to read in the past is that they would never. I think you got to consider your personal opinions and like a general audience kind of thing, and also like the target audience. That's what I meant to say, the target audience, because like you can review a game that it's not for you, right? This game ain't for you, so you still got to be quite fair in it, because this game is made for somebody else, right? So you got to take that into account, even if you personally don't really like. You can say you don't like it, but you also can't like dock it points like just because you don't like it if it's not made for you. Like there was a Football Manager review I saw one time. It was just awful. It was like, why can't you play as the players? Like, it's a management game, you idiot. And yeah, especially like with some lewd games. Like, yeah, the game's got titties, and yeah, you don't like titties, but the titties, they're not for you. They're for these people, right? Let these people enjoy the titties, right? That too much? Sorry. Fresh Machine. If you could have re-released one physical game you have missed out due to being sold out, what would it be? I don't dwell on the past. If it's gone, it's gone. Even people like I missed out on Littlewood and the Razion EX, or is it DX? And loads of loads of you, about 3 of you out there message me saying, I've got an extra copy, do you want it? I'll give it you for the standard price. I'm just like, thank you, but I missed it. I've saved money. That's a silver lining for me. I always think, like, if I've missed out on something, I think I've saved money, Could go buy my daughter some ice cream. Gregory Einscher, you have an hour and a half to play a Switch game uninterrupted. For those who have kids, that is very rare. It is. Well, what game are you playing? Half an hour? An hour and a half, sorry. That's not enough time for a JRPG. So I'd probably dedicate that to like an arcade style game. Just dedicate, getting a high score on something. I don't know. Maybe Steriden. Steriden's amazing. Milkman, how do you like your milk? I was going to make a terrible joke there about in the same way I like my corpses, cold and fresh. James Church, what is the worst box art you've ever seen? That's a big question off the top of my... But I mean, the one that's coming up, Axiom Verge 2 from Limited Run Games, that is particularly bad. And what is box art is so bad, it's good. Well, Limited Run Super Meat Boy makes me want to vomit, but some people like it, so maybe that's my answer. Matthew Fishgold, what are your top 3 most desired Switch physical releases? You can pick anything that exists on other consoles or fantasy games that don't exist yet. Physical, okay. Banner of the Maid, of course. I would like the original Final Fantasy Tactics, not War of the Lions versions, because that version can burn in hell because that translation, like everywhere I see that everyone praises, oh, the brand new amazing translation actually makes sense. It's awful. It is absolutely awful. Like people who like say that haven't actually read it, because in the War of the Lions, like I'm ranting right now, in the War of the Lions script, they don't talk like people. They don't talk like relatable people. It's like, it's just babbling nonsense. Anyway, the other one, I don't know. I'd like Skies of Arcadia HD. Anthony Galarza, which do you prefer, traditional Western style toilet or a squatter? I've used a squatter twice in my life, and both of them have been pretty much the low point of my entire existence. How long did it take you to learn Mandarin? Did you pick it up through cultural immersion, or did you attend it in class? I just picked it up. And I won't say I'm like fluent or anything, okay? Z, a different one. How's life? Yeah, good. Drew Fensler. Hey again, love the show. Don't know if you have any insight on this. My question is, do you think Konami are going to make an MLB Powerful Pros in English or translate the current Switch titles for Western gamers? Okay, I would say, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I would say it's unlikely. Chrono Speed, what kind of car do you drive? A crappy electrical one, that's not even worth mentioning. JCross7776, our executive producer, what's your favorite kind of apple? The green ones. Edgar Bolanos, what football team do you go for and who will win the Premier League? To my eternal disappointment, my football team is Sheffield Wednesday. And who do I think will win the Premier League? I think probably Man City will win. Unfortunately, I don't want them to, but I would like somebody else, maybe Man United to win this season, but I think Man City will do it. Peter Clark, have you met with Juan and James in person, and can you share a picture? No, I can't share a picture because we've never met in person. Yeah, I've not been back to the UK since I joined the channel. Long time. Lamp, what's your waifu? Until Fire Emblem Awakening, I didn't know what a waifu was. So I think I've got to go with... what's her name? Oh god, I can't remember her name. The evil sexy witch. Like the Egyptian woman. Something like that. Evil sexy Egyptian witch. Alex Newman, when is Elon sending you to Mars? When he pays me. Hellman3, how did you start your YouTube channel? I created an account, and yeah, that's it, right? I don't know, I had a website where I used to review games on the website, and then one time I thought, I'll make a supplementary video for the website, you know, but then somehow the YouTube became the focus after that. Grave Splendor, do you collect games in languages other than English? I buy games that have English language options, so if I can play in English, I'll buy it, but my collection is made up of games from all over the world. I have Hong Kong, I have Japanese, Southeast Asian, European, North American. I think I have an Australian one in there somewhere, or maybe in England I have an Australian one, and I have the USK in the UK as well. So yeah, I have games from all over the world, and I'm proud of it. It's multicultural. I am Tron. How tall are you? I am very short. I'm 5'5", believe it or not. And I think that's it. I think that's all your questions. I can't see any more. If I missed your question, I'm sorry, but I've been talking for way too long is the answer. Okay, right, I hope you enjoyed this video of New Physical. Special thanks to our executive producers, Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Boombox, Brett McLean, Jonathan Rumo, Santa Tartaruga, Alexander Cato, JCross776, Elisa, Punky Deuce, Michael Dopolito, Carton Soren, Jack Severus, Philos, Robotech, and Z. Sorry, I'm just really tired. I want to go to bed. Thank you for your support. Many thanks for watching, all of you. Thank you for these 2 years. You've been amazing, and I hope we can do it for another year and longer. Check out some of our other stuff. This video has gone on way too long, and I apologize profusely.